blue cross, and the blue cross signifies that it is suggested. So even though the blue cross, the fields with the blue cross are not required, they are suggested, and they tell the user that that is a suggested field. Here the first name is has the blue cross on it. First names are pretty important. So that signifies that we should go ahead and fill that field in. So we have the topic, last name, company name, business phone number, basically really basic company information. So at this point, we're going to be working with Teresa for a while. We've had some conversations with her. We decided that we want to do business with her, and we want to turn her into an account and a contact. So in order to do that, we can go ahead and hit the qualify button here at the top. And that's going to bring up the convert lead screen. From here, we can convert her into an account, a contact, or an opportunity. The other option is we can completely disqualify and remove this lead from the list of active leads. So let's go ahead and qualify. We also have this box down here, Open Newly Created Records, and by clicking that, that's going to bring up the records as soon as I click OK. So now it's going to dry up the lead form. The lead form is no longer active. It's going to bring up the opportunity, the contact, and the account form. So I got a question from Keith. What is meant by lead? Is it the same as customer? So a lead is going to be anyone that you do not yet do business with. So some companies will buy leads lists. Some companies will have forms on their websites where people can fill it in. It's basically someone that you're not yet doing business with. So then we have contacts, which would be individuals, and we also have accounts, which are going to be companies, larger organizations. And I'll show you how companies, accounts, customers, and opportunities all fit in together. So right now I have taken this lead that we're not yet doing business with, and I've converted her into a contact, an account, and an opportunity, which basically signifies in our CRM that we are now doing business with her. So here we have the opportunity form, and I'll be talking about that in a bit. I had the contact and account form open on my other screen here. So let me move them over so you can see them. So it's going to take all of the information from the leads form, and it's going to automatically fill it out in the account form. So here it took from the lead form the account name. And so we've got that. The primary contact is going to be Teresa. One thing is bringing out right here, and even though you're doing a business with one company, that doesn't mean that you're doing business with one person. The contact is going to be primary contact. That does not mean the only contact is in that account record, and I'll show you how to add more contacts. We're going to fill out the phone number, email address, street name, any of the information that we had put into the leads form, and it'll put it into the account and the contacts records. So to add additional contacts, we go ahead and click on contacts here. And here will be listed all of the contacts that we have for this account. It already has the tie to Teresa's contact record, and if I click on that, it'll open it up. And this too will fill out automatically from the leads form Teresa's first name, last name, job title, business phone number, again, all the information that we had collected in the lead form and converted over into the contact form. I'm going to go ahead and close out of the contact form. So I'm going to go back to the general section of the account form. And I want to point out the notes and activity section. So we have the notes section, and the great thing about notes is if we go ahead and click Add New Note, type in a new note, and click away, it'll date it and timestamp it and say who the note is from. So we can keep a running dialogue of all the notes that we have of this customer, and it'll automatically say when it happened, when this note was added, and who it was added by. We also have the activity section here, and I want to point that it's gray at this point. We have it at the top. So I click on it, it turns, and we now have the activities ribbon. An activity is going to be a phone call, email, letter, appointment. If you do use your CRM in Outlook, your tasks, if you create a task from in here, it will automatically create the task in your Outlook task list. If you create an email, it'll send an email out through Outlook. If you create an appointment, it'll put an appointment on your calendar. Do I sound okay? Anna said that I might be breaking up a bit. So make sure everyone can hear me okay. Okay. Okay, Carl says that he could hear me all right. So does Ben. Okay, well, I'll continue. So we could also go ahead and create a phone call. Anything else that we create, anything that we create in the activities area will show up in the activities area of the CRM, and we'll go over that in a second. So if I go ahead and create a phone call, I'm going to bring up the phone call form, which again opened on my other screen. We go ahead and give this a subject. So we could call it Get Started on the Project. You could tab down and give more information about what I want to talk to extended sales about. I also want to point out that when we do create the phone call record, it's going to automatically fill in the phone number. We can also mark whether it was incoming or outgoing. So we can go ahead and fill out a description of perhaps what we want to talk about. And if this is something that we want to happen, a phone call that has not yet happened, we go ahead and click Save and Close. When I hit Save and Close, it'll end up in my CRM activities, so I can go ahead and access it there, see all the activities that I have to do. And if I had created a task instead of a phone call, it would have shown up in my Outlook tasks. So at this point, perhaps I had gone into my activities, I realized that I need to make this phone call. I open up the phone call record, I read what I need to talk about, I can make notes. Talked about whatever it was, and we could go ahead and hit Mark Complete. At this point, it's going to disappear from the open activities, and it's going to show up now in closed activities. So closed activities are going to be everything that have happened in the past. Activities are going to be everything that happens in the future. So if I go ahead and track an email in CRM, it will end up here. It'll end up as a closed activity. It's an email that has already been sent. If it's an appointment that has happened in the past, it'll end up here. So in closed activities, you can see a record of all of the communication that you've had with this account. And if you do this on the contact record, so let's say that we created an activity for Teresa here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this record up again. So now we're in Teresa's contact record. And notice that we have activities here as well. if we have activities on the contact level, it will trickle up and it will create the activity on the account level as well. So before we go on, let me show you really quick where you will find the list of activities. So here we have the opportunities record. I'm going to minimize that for now. We'll go back to it. And this is the leads record that we started with, and I'm going to close out of that. And also notice that Teresa has been removed from the open leads list. We can, however, go and find all of our inactive leads by changing the view. And here we're going to have all of you, so we can go ahead and see all the leads that are in the system. Right now, I'm in my open leads, so this is all the leads that I own. So we could go ahead and see all the activities we have to do by going into Workplace, My Work, and Activities. So from here, I could go ahead and view all of the activities that I have to do for the day. We could set the due date so that we know exactly when we have to have it by, and we can sort it. So back to the, let's see. So to get to the opportunity, we had set it up so that it opened. We can also go to it by going to Sales and going to Opportunities. We can then go ahead and open the opportunity. So here we have the opportunity. If we want to view the account record, we could go ahead and hit on Extended Sales, and that'll open up the account record. And I had talked about owning a record, so if you have a view that says My Opportunities, this occurs in all records within CRM. You will have an owner field, and I am listed as the owner here. We can change this by clicking on it, and I can either assign it to me or I can assign it to another user or another team. So here we have the opportunity form, and we have the topic, we have the potential customer, we could put in a description. I have a question here from Tiffany. Can you assign owners if you do not have admin rights? That's a really good question. You can actually set up the different rights. So it depends on if you are given the security rights or not, which will be up to your management team. So we could go ahead and fill out a description here. We give it an estimated close date. Go for next month. A probability, say 90%. A rating, whether it's warm, hot, or cold. We'll go ahead and say hot. So we could go ahead and fill it out. And one thing that I did ahead of time before this is I went ahead and created a price list, and I put in 2 products in here. So I'm going to go ahead and select the price list that I had created, which is just a default price list. You'd want different price lists if you have discounts for larger quantities of products, or if you have a discount for certain customers, a student discount, that type of thing. So I went ahead and selected the price list. At this point, I'm going to want to save it. And from here, I can add products. And to add products, go ahead and click on the subgrid here, and notice that the ribbon changes, and the subgrid will turn blue. And from here, I can go ahead and add a new opportunity product. From here, I can add an existing product, or I could do a write-in. And like we had talked about before, how we could set security privileges, we can block this out as well if you guys do not want write-in. So I got another question here. Are the ratings predetermined, or is that something that can be set by sales management? So everything that you see within this system, all of the fields, they can be taken out. We could put new ones in. We could change the, go ahead and minimize this. So where it says hot, warm, and cold, we could say freezing, ice. We could put all kinds of different ratings in here. Out of the box, you only see 3. But we can change everything. Another thing is this probability. We could change that into a drop-down menu, so the only choices you have are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Everything you see in here is customizable, and if you find that you need a field or that a field just gets in the way, I would work with your system admin to add and subtract to make your CRM system work exactly the way that you want it to work. So I have another question here. When we create quotes, won't that auto-populate into what you're showing us now? Let's see. We have the opportunity, and you would create the opportunity product. So we could go ahead and select a product. I put 2 in here. Click OK, and you would set it up so that they would have a price, and they would be set up, and we'd be able to set the unit. And I just have a primary unit here. Again, you could have different units. Perhaps you sell it in a 6-pack or a case or a barrel. You'd be able to set that there. Give it a quantity, say 10. Go ahead and hit close. So now the product is in the opportunity form. At this point, we have not yet created a quote, but we can go down to the quotes area. Again, select it. It'll turn blue. Add new quote. And now we are creating a quote record. And we can get products by clicking Get Products. And that's going to pull the products from the opportunity record. So I have another question here. What is a price list and what do we use it for? A price list is going to be different prices. So some companies just have one price. That's the way it is. Other companies will have different prices. If you buy in bulk, you'll get a discount price. If you are military, you get a discount price. If you are a premium customer, you get a discount price. So you would be able to create different price lists, one for your premium customers, one for your regular customers. So you'd be able to set different prices for different types of customers. Okay, so at this point we had just created a new quote. It's automatically put in the amount that we had created from Get Products. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. So this is the opportunity. And if we scroll down, we have that quote listed here. As long as this quote is open, we cannot close the opportunity. It'll give us a error message. So I'm going to bring that quote back up. And from here, we could go ahead and click Activate Quote. So this would be at the time when a customer says, yes, let's go forward, let's go. So at this point, we've activated the quote. If we want to revise the quote, we could go ahead and click Revise. We could go into Products, change the products around. Perhaps we want to do something else here. We could go back to quote and then activate the quote again. So from here, we'd be able to go ahead and hit create order. And we could go ahead and say that it is won, the date that it was won, any description that we would like, and that we would like to close the opportunity. And we can also say that calculated from the quotes, so that's going to take all the numbers that we have here, including if we had filled out the discount percentage or discount amount, rate total, total tax, etc. So we could go ahead and click OK. And that is going to create the order. So from here, it's going to automatically give it an order ID, and again, the system admin can go in and change what that order ID is. It's going to go ahead and automatically fill out the name, the customer, the price list. We have the products over here, any discounts that we put along the way, etc. So at this point, we can fulfill the order. So if it's complete, if it's partial, we can also cancel the order. And from here, we could take it from an order and create an invoice. And this would be the last step. So from here, once the invoice is paid, we could go ahead and hit invoice paid, or we can hit cancel invoice. So we've just taken it from opportunity, where we created the opportunity to sell, and we created quotes from the opportunity. Then we went into an order, and we created the order where it was fulfilled. And then we turned that into an invoice, and now we're in the invoice. Invoice is paid, and we can say complete. And that would be the life cycle of the sales. So let me go ahead and close out of all of these. So ideally, you would not be having all the windows open and going through it as quickly as we did here. So I want to show a couple different ways that you can find your quotes, orders, invoices, and opportunities. And the first one is, if you go into the sales, you would have a list of your opportunities, a list of all your quotes, a list of all your orders, a list of all your invoices. And again, if I go ahead and click on quotes, we have different views. So we have my quotes. These are going to be all the quotes that I am listed as the owner. We have the drop-down menu, so we can see all active quotes and all quotes, whether they are active or not. The other place that we can see them is if we go into customer. So let's go ahead and open accounts. And we've done that for extended sales. So let's go ahead and open extended sales. So we're back in the accounts form. Notice we also have opportunities, quotes, orders, invoices. So we'd be able to open the extended sales account form, click on quotes, and see all the quotes that are related to extended sales. So at this point, I'm going to open it up for questions. I think the chat is working well, unless Anna, you want me to take everyone off of mute. We can have a conversation. So I have a question here from Mark. In our previous estimates and invoices, we included detailed descriptions for each line item within the estimate or invoice. Would the opportunity section be the fields for each of these line items. So let me go ahead and open a new quote here. And we're going to go ahead and stick to the chat. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. Actually, I'm going to open an opportunity. You know what? I'm going to close out of this and open the opportunity that we had created earlier. Sorry. So if we go down, I'm going to go ahead and put in the default price list again. Save this. Go to line items, select it, add new product. So we could go ahead and you said that you had added fields for each of the items. We could put a description field down here. So when you do add an existing product, it could have more of a description here than just the fields that are in here. So I hope that answered your question. Any other questions? Sure. Okay, Tiffany has asked me to go through the site navigation. Let me go ahead and close all this so it's a little bit more organized. Anna has, it has been picked out for me to talk about just about every single portion of this throughout the week with various people. So some of you may see some of these functions and other people may not. I'm going to go through it very quickly since Anna has specifically asked me to talk about certain sections. So we have the workplace here, and if you go to My Work, you have What's New, which is a way of communicating with your team on your CRM, so you'd be able to type notes to each other. Activities is where all your activities are going to live. So if I go ahead and click on it, if I had all my tasks and the phone call that we created earlier, that's going to live in there. Imports is if you import data, the records will be there. Duplicate detection, you'd be able to see duplicate detection. Jobs that have happened, there is a duplicate detection. So if you add a record that already exists within the CRM, you'd be able to, it'll tell you. And so you'd be able to see all duplicate detection jobs right there. Queues are based on teams. So if there is a team of people in your, for example, if there's a team of people in your customer service that works with a case, so perhaps all shipping issues are sent to a certain team, you'd be able to send that case to a queue, and that team would be able to see it. Articles are going to be databases of knowledge, so a knowledge database that you'd be able to access and send to customers. Reports, go ahead and click on that. You'd be able to get customer reports, so all the information that is in the CRM, you'd be able to get a report of it. Announcements are all announcements that are throughout the company. So that's basically the really basic parts of the CRM and how you'd be able to view reports and see all your activities, all the imports, so everything that kind of goes around the information that is in the CRM. Then we have the sales, which we went through, quotes, orders, invoices. We talked a little bit about products. Sales literature, I think we'll be talking about tomorrow, as well as goals and goals metrics. We also have the marketing area where you'd be able to do campaigns, create marketing lists. Then we have the service area where you could create service calendars as well as cases, customer service. Then we have these settings over here, which are quite extensive, and I'll be working with the system admins to train them on this portion of it. So I also got a request to go back through the leads area. So if I go ahead and click on leads, I have a list of all my leads here. Also that we can change the view, so all the leads that I own, all leads, all open leads, or we could look for all closed leads, all leads that we've either converted or decided we're not going to do business with. So if later on you need to find information on a lead that is no longer in the system, you could go ahead and click on closed leads and find them that way. So I can go ahead and open a new one, open an existing one, or also note that there is a new button up here in the corner that you would be able to create a new lead. So the lead information is going to be topic, first name, last name, phone number, contact information. We also have activities over here as well as the notes and activity section. So I have another question here. Will the price box on the opportunity screen only save what I've listed, or will it have access to see and use the pricing created by others? So the access rights will be set up by the system admin, and that's going to be something that I want to be working with the system admins and train them on how to do that. There is a way to set it up so that only certain people can see certain information. As far as seeing pricing, as long as there is only one price list and you block out the write-in products, everyone would be able to see, or everyone who has rights, I should say, will be able to see the same pricing. So so I have a question here. I see that there is a predefined rating for leads cold that always set as cold. So we can change it right here in rating. If you want the default to be hot, again, we could go ahead and change it. And as we had discussed earlier, we can change this rating so that it's more than just hot, warm, cold. We could add icy, we could add boiling, we can add any rating that we'd like. Again, that's something that you would have to work with the system admins and to really define your business process. Okay, I had Anna ask to walk everyone through how to add a new customer. Right here, we're in the leads form. To create a customer from leads, we could go ahead and hit qualify, and I can qualify this lead into an account and a contact. And again, an account is going to be a company, and a contact is going to be the person within the company. So that is one way to do it. The other way to do it, go ahead and close out of that, would be to go directly to the account form. Select New up in the corner here. Again, we have the red asterisk here, which means that I can't save it unless I fill out that data. So I'm going to call this ABC company. I also want to point out that it's grayed out on the side here, grayed out on the top. If I had more information, I could go ahead and fill out as much as I know. And I am filling this out for a reason. So I could go ahead and fill out as much information as I like. I could go ahead and hit save. Now if I want to add a person within this account, I could go ahead and hit contacts. And I can add a new contact here. And the benefit of adding a contact by going into the contact by the account record and doing it the way that I did versus creating a new contact is you see it'll automatically pull in the business phone that I filled out, the street number, the city, the state. So all the information that is in the account record will automatically be pulled out. That'll save you half the work. So now I just need to put in a first name and last name. And I could go ahead and click Save and Close. And then if I would like another contact, I could go ahead, click Add New Contact, and put in another person, and just continue on this process until I have 20, 30, 40 people that I have contact with in this company. And also, if you scroll down, we have more information here. One thing is the role, the decision maker, employee, influencer. Also is the department. So you'd be able to put in, we could put in accounting. So I would know that I'm dealing with the accounting person if I haven't given this person a name yet. Call him Sam Doe. So now I know that Sam is in the accounting department. So any further questions? Does creating customers, accounts, leads, does that all that make sense? Okay, so it doesn't look like we are getting any more questions. I'll stick around for a couple more minutes. And I'm always available if anyone has any questions. Anna has my contact information. You can get it from her. If you have questions down the line, feel free to give me a call. All right, thank you. And I'm going to end this. It looks like we've got a meeting at the same time tomorrow. So I'll see you then. All right, thank you. Bye.